Have you ever known a lot of English words but still feel nervous while speaking? You understand English when others speak, but when it is your turn, the words feel stuck. This happens to many learners, and the reason is so simple. They don't clearly understand parts of speech. Spoken English is not just about vocabulary, it's about using the right word on the right place. Parts of speech are the building blocks of English sentences. Once you understand them, speaking English becomes easier, smoother, and more confident, almost like magic. So, what are forms of speech? Hi everyone, dear students and viewers, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we will study parts of speech, how to use them in spoken English sentences. Why it is important to learn part of speech. Part of speech, there are about 8 part of speech which are very important using in sentences. For example, the main parts of speech: noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. How to use them in your sentences correctly. So why it is important to learn them? Because your English, if you have a lot of words in your mind in English, a lot of vocabulary, but if you don't know the using of correct parts of speech on the right place, it makes your fluency worse. But you should learn the main parts of speech on the right place. For example, noun. Nouns. What are nouns? First of all, nouns. Names of everything. Nouns are the names of everything. For example, school, hospital, bus, boy, man, girl, everything which we see around us, everything has a name. So this name is called noun. It is very important. How to use noun in a sentence? For example, that person is very clever. For example, that person. Now the person is noun in this sentence. That person is so very intelligent. That person is very intelligent. Now you should use that person on the right place of this sentence. Is very intelligent. The second one is pronoun. So what is pronoun? Pronoun, so speaking faster and smarter. When we use pronoun, you can speak faster and smarter. What are pronouns? Or what is a pronoun? Pronoun is used instead of a noun in a sentence. For example, here is a sentence: Tom is a good boy. Now, boy, noun, and Tom is constant noun. The other sentence, so when we speak on the place of Tom, he is very hardworking. He gets up early in the morning. He learns very well everything. Now when we use he in place of Tom, So this is a pronoun. It makes speaking faster and smoother. The other one, verbs. What are verbs? The hearts of spoken English. When the action in a sentence is called a verb. For example, I play hockey. I play hockey. So the play is verb in this sentence. For example, now it is another part of masalan. For example, she played tennis. She played tennis. For example, played. For example, they are playing. These are the forms of verbs: play, played, playing, and so on. So the other one is adjective, making speech colorful. When we use in our sentences adjectives, our spoken English becomes colorful. For example, tall, smart, boring. As like this, so you can use many adjectives in your spoken English sentences. The other one is adverb. So what is adverb? Adding form to your words. For example, he runs quickly. He runs quickly. He runs quickly. So this one is called adverb. The other one, preposition, showing a relationship between words and time. For example, the book is or the cat is under the table. The cat is under the table. The cat is under the table. So under, in, on, and so on. These are prepositions. The other conjunction, connecting your thoughts. Conjunctions or words which connects your thoughts. For example, better, because, and. For example, I bought a ball, bat, and wickets. And here, and is conjunction. For example, you are a smart boy because you work very hard. So because is making here two clauses together or two sentences together. For example, she plays very well. She plays very well. Well, but she doesn't win. She plays very well, but she doesn't win. As like this, you can use these parts of speech in your spoken English sentences. The last one, interjection, shows emotions in your speech. For example, we say, wow, that's amazing. we use sign of exclamation after every interjection. For example, wow, wow. Then we use sign of exclamation. That is an amazing corn. That is an amazing corn. For example, oh no, I forgot my keys at home. Hey, then we use sign of exclamation. How are you? So as like this, you can use smoothly and clearly parts of speech in your own sentences. So now the most important thing is that you should learn every kind. For example, noun and its kinds. Common noun, pronoun, proper noun, collective noun, abstract noun, concrete nouns. I will make each one another and the separate class for you, especially on parts of speech. For example, pronoun and its kinds, how to use them and where to use them. Parts of verb: first form, second form, third form, fourth form of verb. For example, present, past participle and present participle form of verb. How to use them in sentences according to the time. The other one, adjective and its kinds. For example, degrees of adjectives. For example, he is tall. He is a tall boy. When we compare two persons, then we use than, THAN, ER with the comparative degree of, then we make a comparative degree of than form of speech. For example, tall, taller, the tallest. For example, richer, and the richest. So how to use the degrees of parts of speech and the kinds of parts of speech. Adverb and its kinds. How to use adverb in different places, in different situations. Preposition. How many prepositions are there? Preposition of time, preposition of place, and preposition of reason. How to use them? About 17 or 18 preposition we can use in our own sentences. For example, at home, in school, to go to school. For example, I go to school, I go home. So what is the reason? Then we use to with the school and we don't use with home. The other one, conjunction. What are the main kinds of conjunctions? How to use them? Where to use because? Where to use but? For example, I go to school because I want to become a doctor. For example, I can play, but I like playing. I like playing, but I can't. I can't. How to use them? When we connect two different sentences. So, what is the main idea of these conjunctions? And the other one, the last one, interjection and its kinds, how to use and where to use. In some sentences, we can use sign of exclamation just after the word interjection, and some sentences it can be used in the last of a sentence. On the coming classes, I will make especially for my students and for my viewers, I will make a different class on each part of speech. I think it's enough for today. If you have any question, you can also ask in your comments. I will make a special video for you. Keep learning, keep trying, and practice daily up to at least 10 to 15 or 20 minutes, because practice makes a man perfect. Thank you very much. If you liked this video, like, share with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. Bye bye.